there are a couple of off the tops here that we need to discuss. Now, for those of you who may remember, yesterday on the John Campea Show, we discussed here that Warner Brothers was possibly looking at moving Wonder Woman 84 for a couple of reasons, but one of them being the fact that currently, as it was slated to open on October 2nd, that's right around when they're projecting that the movie theaters in like California and New York will really be back up and running again. And Warner Brothers doesn't want to have something competing, at least not one of their own films, competing against Tenet, because they want Tenet to really be able to benefit from California. So it looked like Wonder Woman might move. Well, apparently it's now official. It's being reported originally by the Wall Street Journal and has now been confirmed by Deadline. Warner Brothers has moved Wonder Woman 84 again. I believe this is the fourth move, third or fourth move, something like that. They have officially bumped Wonder Woman 84 again. It will not open on October 2nd. Not a terribly huge surprise. It was only 3.5 weeks away. Plus, we guessed with the Tenet stuff. And it is staying in 2021, or in 2020, I should say. It's being moved to late December. Rob, I believe you took a look at the report that I think it said they're basically around Christmas time, so technically a week after Dune.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and they're saying here in the article that Warner Brothers, at least this is true today, apparently. This was in Deadline. It dropped at 9:45, so literally 15 minutes ago. They're saying that they believe that Christmas can support 2 major tentpole films. I don't think this is going to John, Dune and Wonder Woman are pretty important to Warner Brothers. I can't believe they're going to release one right after another, but you know what? They might have to start clocking those dollars by the end of that year because they have to make those interest payments. But I just can't see that happening.
No, I mean, the Wall Street Journal's not wrong. I mean, we've seen the Christmas season can support more than one big blockbuster. But if you're the studio, do you want to release 2 of your blockbusters basically at the same time? Well, I will be surprised if Dune doesn't now move into 2021. Probably not by a lot, but my guess at this point is that within the next month or 2, we're going to hear about Dune getting moved. I don't know. What do you think? Or do you think they actually will keep this date for Dune now that they move Wonder Woman?
We've heard Denis Villeneuve himself has said it would be a mad race to the finish line. I think this is an easy way for them to alleviate the pressure that the producers and the filmmakers for Dune are under. Give them the time they need. I wouldn't want. I mean, a studio would be cannibalizing its own business because, well, let's face it. There's a lot of crossover audience between Wonder Woman and Dune. I know that because I'm one of them. And I think a lot of the people watching this show are viewers that are going to be excited for both films, are going to go see both movies. And, during the Christmas season with family, I mean, maybe no one's going to see a family this season. I don't know, but I think they will be. And people go to the movies and you have to decide. And I don't know. I wouldn't want, if I was a Warner Brothers filmmaker, I would not want my big tentpole opening anywhere near either Dune or Wonder Woman. So who knows? Maybe they'll change the future by this release strategy, but you never know.
Well, I mean, let's take a look here for a second, because if we go over right now and take a look at, say, let me check out the release schedule, because look, we saw Warner Brothers made a lot of money. They made a lot of money, and there's the release schedule. They made a lot of money last when Aquaman came out.
Right. In
a Christmas season that had a number of other big films coming out. I mean, remember, it was that logjam of really big films.
Murderer's Row, we were calling it.
It was a murderer's row, and they were able to make a lot of money with that nonetheless. Now, what do we got this year? There are a few films that are looking to open this year around that Christmas season. We'll start on December 11th. We got Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds film. That's not going to be a $1 billion film, but that could get a lot of interest.
It looks good. Again, part of the same audience that Wonder Woman and Dune would be attracted to.
Theoretically, on the same day as already Dune right now, we got West Side Story. Honestly, listen, I think Steven Spielberg is the world's greatest filmmaker. I think he's the greatest filmmaker of all time. I don't see West Side Story doing a ton of business. But also on the 18th, we've got Coming to America 2. Again, not a $600 million movie, but could get a little bit of box office. We got the Anthony Hopkins movie, The Father, and of course, Dune on the 18th. We've got The Croods: A New Age. I think they waited way too long on trying to do a Croods 2. If they were going to do a Croods 2, I thought they should have done that a long time ago, but whatever. And then we've got on the 25th, which is when they're looking at putting Wonder Woman now, they've got The Truffle Hunters and the Tom Hanks movie, News of the World. So some significant titles, some significant names, but it's not that same murderer's row that, say, Aquaman and a few other films were able to do pretty well and quite well in. I mean, you can make an argument that there's room here, especially if you consider, just to play devil's advocate for a second, especially if you consider that if indeed by Christmas, and that's a huge if, but if indeed by Christmas, like all the theaters are open back up again, which it looks like they will be sooner rather than later, with the added hunger of that you can make an argument there may be room for another big blockbuster in that lineup this Christmas season. But do you want two of your own films? I guess that's the catch for me. If you had to make an argument, Rob, why there is room here to drop in a Wonder Woman and have Dune keep the same date, what would your main argument be?
Well, I would say, like you said, we don't have a murderer's row, and both of those movies are very attractive to what you'd call four-quadrant audiences, meaning kids and adults can go together. And that's the holiday season is the time when families are going to the movies. I think both Wonder Woman and Dune, even though Dune's pretty sophisticated, it's still a film that the whole family can see, I guess, for the most part. And I think both of those movies are very well positioned to get people excited to go see the movies. And I could see, I mean, they're not wrong in that I think that both films are definitely going to attract audiences. By the way, as an aside, I watched the trailer for The Father yesterday. That movie was not on my radar at all, but after I watched the trailer, I'm like, oh, I'm in. Anthony Hopkins plays an old man who's suffering from maybe dementia or maybe something else. Like his daughter keeps appearing as two different actresses. Like, who are you? I'm your daughter. And I'm like, and then I read a review of it. I'm like, okay, I hadn't even heard of this movie. And I played some festivals, and it looks really good.
Here's a question for you. Okay, let's say Warner Brothers drops Dune and Wonder Woman within a week of each other.
Mm-hmm.
When it's all said and done, which one does better business at the box office, Wonder Woman or Dune?
I think
not which will be the better movie, but which one will make more box office. As
it pains me to say it, I think Wonder Woman's going to make significantly more at the box office than Dune because, again, 8-year-olds can go see Wonder Woman. I don't think that if an 8-year-old goes and sees Dune, they're going to come out of it and go, Mom, Dad, I want to go see that again. Maybe they will, but I think Wonder Woman just has more of a replayability for family audiences, and already it's got, remember, girls, the female audience. It's not exactly, Dune is not exactly the most inviting girl power movie, even though it's got some incredibly powerful, literally powerful women in it. But Wonder Woman is like, you've got 6-year-old girls who might for the very first time go to the movie theater specifically for their very first time ever to see Warner Brothers. To see Warner Brothers Wonder Woman. Yeah. And that's a big deal. And I think that Wonder Woman is going to outgross Dune by probably a wide margin.
Listen, unless they radically change direction with their marketing, because we talked ad nauseum about that trailer. Unless they change directions radically, I think Wonder Woman could double Dune's box office.
Oh yeah, I
suspect Dune will be the better film. Not that I don't have a world of confidence in Patty Jenkins, I absolutely do. But I think there's again, unless they change gears with their marketing, I think there's a possibility that Wonder Woman could absolutely double it. But question is for you guys. What do you think of this move? We talked about this the other day. This is no surprise that Wonder Woman is moving. The question will be, does Dune stick there? And what would you do? Personally, if it's me, I maybe move Dune to a February or something like that. Who knows? Do you keep it where it is? Do you think it'll stay where it is? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.